Alright, so a lot of folks have been asking me if I come up with my Facebook statuses or if I get them off a website or Google them, and I make up every single one of my Facebook statuses from scratch, and well, most of them are based on biblical principles. I get the Bible verses off of Google. Like I'll Google like, oh, Bible verses for this topic, and they'll give me a bunch of Bible verses which comes from the Bible, and I put those in quotes. But all the commentary about those that's all me, and most of the time it's based on ideas I had before I looked up the Bible verses, and I just kind of use the Bible verses to kind of provide some evidence or proof, or like I'm kind of backing behind my points so they're not just empty words. But I know a lot of people, because I don't get a ton of likes on my statuses that I make up. I might get like 20, and someone will take something they found off of Google, they'll put it out as their status, and they'll get like 70 likes, or for the higher end of that. And I'm just thinking, like, that's not promoting individuality and imagination. Not so much imagination, just like, I feel like the words would have more of a meaning if it comes from you. And although it is good to agree on previous ideas, it's not necessarily, it doesn't promote intuition and expressing your own opinion, because if all you're doing is agreeing with other people, you can form your own opinion, but it's biased based on those other people's opinions. So that being said, yes, I make up all my Facebook statuses, and a lot of them are biased since I am a Christian, but nonetheless, they are my own ideas, things that I just think about throughout the day, and then I'll come home and start typing up. That's why some of them are elaborate, because it takes me a while to explain. Because here's another thing. When I put statuses on Facebook, that is absolutely not all that I have to say about the topic. Because I really hate typing. I'd rather explain it like I'm doing right now. Can you imagine if I would type up what I'm saying right now and explaining how all my, it's you can't get as in depth when you're typing. So my Facebook statuses voice my opinion, but not fully. I don't fully elaborate in them. And same with texting people. I can't because a lot of people come to me with problems or whatever. They need advice, and they text me, and I say, well, if you want to text, you can text, but I'd much rather talk to you, and ideally talk to you in person, because even talking to you on the phone, I can't see your facial expression. It's a lot better than texting, talking, trust me. But when you're in person, you're looking at them, it's completely different. You can absorb so much more emotion, and then my advice is a lot better because I see how you react to it. I see the little physical signs of, whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether something hurts your feelings, or because a lot of the advice I say is advice that you don't necessarily want to hear, but it's true, it's going to be good for you. So that being said, I can't text it all. I really can't. You really have to get the connotation in my voice, and there's just so many other aspects other than, because all you're doing is reading, so all you're getting is, your sight, but you can even touch, I guess. No, not really. But the point is, these Facebook statuses that are, back and forth debating over them, because a lot of the subjects I put on my Facebook statuses, like abortion, or like today, YOLO, whatever, they're a lot of people have mixed opinions about them, and so it can go back and forth. You comment one thing, oh, here's a counter argument for that, back and forth, and it could last literally forever. You can't. There's never going to be, oh, okay, you are right. You had more points than me, so I'm going to switch sides, and I'm on your side now. I'm on your team because you proved why my opinion was wrong. No one's going to do that. Maybe in rare cases, but no one's going to do that because of the conflicting morals and just, past experiences that shaped their opinion, what opinion they have now. But, so I found it meaningless to argue, especially over Facebook. Now, there's a difference. If you're just arguing to try to prove your point, or if you're debating, I guess, to voice your side to get outsiders a view on both sides. So you say, okay, well, I heard that side. Well, here's my side, so that you have both sides and you can make your own unbiased opinion. Because I mean, think about it. Even in these Republican and Democrat speeches, obviously the Democrats are only going to say things that bring the Democratic Party up and bring the Republican Party down. Republicans are only going to say, so you know, the same thing with Republicans. So the point is, if all you listen to is Democratic speeches, you're probably going to be a Democrat. But if all you listen to is Republican speeches and what they have to say about everything, you're probably going to be a Republican. That's why you have to listen to both sides and not voice your opinion out of ignorance, really, and really do your research. But I'm not trying to get into politics. But yeah, so going back to my initial point, yes, I do create my own Facebook statuses, inspired by both the Bible and things that I see throughout my day. And most of the time, now a lot of people question my motives behind saying these things. Okay, I can assure you, it is not to bring attention to me, or people think, oh, look at this guy, he can be a philosopher, or he really has a good grasp on life and the Bible and all that. I don't want to get that kind of like oh, he's above everyone else. And also, I don't want people to think that I think I'm above everyone else. I mean, I'm a human just like you guys are. I mean, and all my information comes from the Bible, just like any other human being can get the information from. They just don't choose to. And so it's like I'm just like a normal kid, normal 16-year-old kid, just like most of you 16 or 17. But so these, and people say like, wow, you have the best Facebook statuses. One girl said that, and I think to myself, like, that's not really my point. I'm not trying to be that motivational guy on Facebook that is right about everything and you can't prove him wrong. That's not. I'm just kind of like, because most of the statuses I put aren't to say like this is how it is, although it may seem like that sometimes. But Facebook statuses I put are more for people who aren't really sure of their side, and whatever debate, and they're not really sure, and so I'm just putting my opinion out there, although it, biblical opinion, of course, which is why if you're atheist or whatever, you obviously might have a different opinion. But for the most part, if I base it off of biblical things, since like 95% of people believe in God, something like that. So that means 95% of the people who read my statuses, if I incorporate biblical principles, which gives it the credibility in what I am saying, then those people will agree with it for the most part. Because if I'm just rambling on about nothing, with not nothing, but without any biblical evidence or anything like that, I mean, who am I to talk about abortions and that kind of stuff? I mean, and even when I talk about abortion and like abortion's a sin and it is murder and all that, I mean, nothing I say is for sure. I know that it's not necessarily fact, and that we all have different opinions, and some opinions are wrong, but most opinions are neither right nor wrong. So the plan of this audio is just to kind of explain that I do create my own Facebook statuses just because I feel like it's better if it comes from your heart rather than you just agree on something. Because I mean, we can take a lot of like since I'm into philosophy a lot, and especially Christian philosophy, reading a philosopher's book. But think of all the famous philosophers where we get most of our philosophy from, like Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, like those guys. They didn't have any famous philosophers in their history where they could, I mean, they started the philosophy. So, and we're reaping the benefit of them recording what their philosophy was. But I mean, who's to say we can't do the same thing about our own philosophy? And that's kind of why I'm trying to show people that just because a lot of the things I say aren't really popular with a lot of my friends on Facebook, or the population, because mainly the things I say that aren't necessarily biblical, or because a lot of times I make people look bad on my, and obviously no one likes that, but I feel like I have to say it because I mean these people are being exposed to to the false opinions really of so many people, and I feel like I have to be that one person to disagree with everyone, just so they realize that, oh, there might be two sides to this. Just like why I talk about like smoking and drinking, that kind of stuff, because everyone in like today's society is so fixed on, oh, drinking's okay, smoking marijuana is okay, YOLO, and so I feel like, hang on, I'm checking this. So I feel like I have to be that one guy that people look down on in a way, but I don't know, some people look down on, but and they think like, oh, this kid thinks he knows everything and that kind of stuff. That's not how it is. But I mean, I can ramble on forever, and so sorry, that's my dog. I can ramble on forever, I really can, and so all I'm going to say is this, because a lot of people question my motives, and my motive, I mean, what was Jesus' motive when he was on the earth? I guess I'll bring in a biblical principle. I mean, Jesus wasn't really favored. I mean, all the Pharisees, the religious leaders, hated him and would talk about, like, you know, why he's wrong and all that. They kind of team up against him, and but he wasn't there to get attention and to be like, wow, look, this guy's the Messiah. Everyone bowed down to him. You think that was his purpose? No, it wasn't. It was because God called him to preach and tell us, kind of preach to us so that we can write down the Bible and then for future generations to read, because and then die for us, of course. But his point wasn't to get attention. He got attention because the points he was making were valid and, I mean, reasonable, really, which is why he gained followers. But he wasn't a popular guy at the beginning necessarily, and so I don't expect to be the popular guy, and I don't really want to. It's just that just like I feel like I have to say it. It's almost like I have to exaggerate one way because it's been so exaggerated in the opposite direction, and so just so it balances out. And it may sound like I'm condemning people sometimes, but I'm just trying to provide them with the other side of the story, because since we are a minority in some of these cases, I really have to, you know, what I say isn't going to change people necessarily. I'm just kind of trying to plant the seed just to get into their mind, oh, maybe, you know, just so they process it a little bit. They don't necessarily have to have the same opinion as me. Just receiving my opinion makes them think about it a little bit, and then if they're continually exposed to that, maybe that would shape their opinion. And so to keep this shorter than I could make it, yeah, my motives behind putting my own Facebook statuses is really just not to force my opinion onto people, just kind of to help them see things from a different perspective, different light. And if it hurts my popularity, if it increases my popularity, it doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of, I guess you could say, doing my duty as a Christian, and just like, because a lot of the principles I say they're Christian principles, but I mean, they're like, atheists would agree with them. I mean, they're not necessarily Christian principles in the sense of, if you're not a Christian, you won't believe in them. Because, I mean, they're basic life principles that happen to be in the Bible. You know, so, but yeah, definitely conflict of morals, and that I really can't change, but just voice my opinion on my Facebook statuses, and people can like it or hate it, but I have to do it. It's my duty, and in my opinion. So yeah, hope you guys learn a little more about why I do this stuff, and have a good evening. I'm gonna get started on my homework now. Bye.